Sam also is investing in companies that they can do compute. I think that that will be the next currency.
Next thing. So another interesting thing that Altman talked about, of course, was this Q star. So if you guys remember, we had a theory here on the Tech-Mex podcast that Q star was one of the reasons that Sam Altman got fired or ousted, right? Early on, late last year, right? It's because, Q star is AGI. Q star is able to do certain things. Q star is able to break encryption. Like there were all these rumors that were floating around. And I think we found out that maybe there was some truth to some of that. And I think Sam Altman has never said that Q star does not exist. In fact, Lex Friedman asked him about it, and basically Sam Altman said, I'm not talking about that right now. So he did not deny it, right? I think that's one of the things that you can infer from some of this.
I think that is going to be, we're going to know based on the court case from Elon. I think that guy is going to be able to pull it off, to actually, and I'm debating myself. I think that is just a funny tactic from Elon, but I can see why he's trying to do it too, independently that he might be a sore loser. Right? So I think that maybe there is something there that we need to regulate, because a lot of these people, techies. I'm a techie, but sometimes there are not as many Hispanics how I would like it. Right? They have biases, and then obviously these programmers, they put biases on these systems and these programs. So, in my opinion, this type of technology might have to be a little bit open source so everybody can see what happened, right? And that's in theory, that was the name, right?
Yeah.
Open AI, but guess what? Right now it's close AI.
Very true, which is right. Elon's whole point of this lawsuit. He's like, hey, I put in all this money. I thought it was going to be open. They ended up letting Microsoft kind of be the big guy in the room, and then they closed it. And now Elon's out, but they kept all that money or investment. So he wants to open it up. I can see, of course, now he has Grok also that he's trying to get out there, that's trying to compete and things like that. So maybe he slows them down a little bit, or maybe if he discovers info that can help Grok, maybe, that's just a happy coincidence.
This is just accelerating very fast. You have NVIDIA doing finally kind of this chip manufacturing, right? And then you have these companies, Grok and OpenAI, to keep pushing. So, and then you have all of the robotics going. It's going to be exciting for the next 5 to 10 years in technology.
I think we're gonna see a lot of big strides. And so Lex actually asked Sam Altman about AGI. Like, obviously that's another big thing that we're interested in, whether it's Q star or not Q star, if it's going to be part of something else.
Could you describe for the audience what's AGI?
AGI is basically just the general intelligence of AI. Basically, it can do anything, right? It can be useful for anything. You could drop it into the robot and you can talk to it naturally, and it's just able to do it. So that's
where the Asimov, the author for the iRobot, rules might be very important, right?
They do become more important there. So,
which the rules basically say that don't harm a human, basically. And the kind of the second rule is the same, like look at rule number 2. and kind of the other one is it's kind of obey what the human, unless you're breaking rule number 1, rule number rules. 2.
Yeah, we did do, if you guys are interested, we did do a clip on the Asimov rules also. So look it up in our show history. But so when Sam Altman was asked about AGI, or, this general intelligence, he said that he would opt to use different words for it. I'm like, it sounds like he's sidestepping the question a little bit. But he's saying it's like, he would describe it as when AI all on its own can kind of push science forward or have scientific discoveries on its own without us having to help it or guide it or things like that, right? And when I hear that, that sounds awfully similar to another concept that we've mentioned before, which is the singularity, which is like that's the point when, yeah, your AI becomes sentient. It can basically think just like a person does or a human does, but it just has so many more resources at its fingertips. It has all of the knowledge, all of the memory. It can have really good compute, high compute. It can automate everything. So, like, that's the singularity point. So, what he's talking about, Sam Altman, to me, sounds like, hey, maybe that's what he's saying. It's like, um, that's what AGI really is, and that's going to kickstart the singularity process.
Also, I think that based on this, Sam also is investing in companies that they can do compute, because I think that that will be the next currency. Yeah, Bitcoin is gonna be the transaction, right, to be able to store value, but a lot of it is gonna be kind of your new oil.
Mm-hmm.
It will be compute. So, and it's not in the way that we know it right now with like AWS, that you just kind of have your servers there in the cloud. No, it's about more how you're able to efficiently be able to process information, right? Like, hey, I need to be able, like example, let's say that you have your robot, and maybe the hardware might not be able to process a lot of the information. Then, if you want your robot to do a specific task, then you might have to pay for that compute power, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your machine cannot do it in your house, you might have to send it through to the cloud and all of that. So, but yeah, I think that the next currency is going to be compute.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see that, like, even if I'm trying to do some AI or machine learning here at home, like, I'm limited by my computer power. I can't do lots of things because my computer's not able to handle it. You need these big a cluster or whatever the case is, right? So that's why Sam Altman, and we mentioned this previously, he's asking for $7 trillion to get more hardware, because I think maybe in many cases right now they're limited by the hardware that they have. They could potentially do so much
GPUs, yeah.
more. They could potentially do so much more if they had more hardware or better hardware. And so that's part of, I think, what he's piecing together. It's like, we don't want to be hardware limited anymore. We don't want to be limited by compute. We want to have as much of it as we can. And then we can really maybe get the real Q star, really maybe get AGI going, really maybe kick off the singularity. Maybe that's the direction that he's trying to go. You know what? I think that's all we've got for today. I want you guys to like, subscribe, and comment. We'd love to hear from y'all. If you like the content, share with your friends. Make sure we get known and we start to get a little bit bigger. So we want to make sure that you guys have a good time. Mando, anything else?
No, peace out.
Peace out. See y'all
Please.
next time. Dale.